we have a lot of people trying to do trim mapping and tiling and a lot of this good optimization of UV stuff, but there seems to be a lot of confusion as to how this workflow kind of operates and how it kind of goes. So I'm going to be doing some demonstrations today because I haven't really had any real requests for that or for anybody really. So I'm going to do a demonstration on that today. On just how to model with the trim map mindset here, okay? Because this is a workflow that you guys haven't been introduced to yet, really. It kind of goes a little bit backwards. You pretty much, I mean, you do want to start with a map. You want to start with a texture. You want to find something that's going to get you started. You know, you can make edits to this stuff later. You guys can you can work on your materials further and make some really cool looking stuff later, but right now, I mean, you need to have something set up for you to use that information. Okay, so I'm working today on Ivy's asset right now because I want to make sure that this is really clear to everybody. Uh, Starting your model off, you know, with a trim map is probably the best thing that you can do at this point because you need to know how big, you know, in her instance, how big your shingles are, how your tiling maps look, where you want to lay out your UVs, how you want to optimize this thing. There's going to be a lot of back and forth between a lot of this, okay? So this isn't going to be a perfect map by any means. I would say if you get your placement doing the right thing and if you find the right material to use, then that's going to be the best way that you can do this. What I was able to do, because over here in Substance Painter, there's not really any tile materials to start off with as far as the shingles goes. Uh, I tried looking on Substance Source, but I had some problems on Substance Source. There, uh, I think I just forgot that you have to have like a better subscription to get all the really good stuff. I mean, there are some free materials. Let me load this up for you guys here. There are some good free materials here on Substance Source. Okay, this is all the free stuff I was able to find over here. You can come over to free assets, and that's all. This is all stuff that's free that you can grab off of Substance Source. Uh, the reason I suggest Substance Source is because this is maintained by Substance themselves here. Okay, so you know that the quality is going to be a lot better with Substance Source than it is going to be with Substance Share because Substance Share is a community site. Anyone can kind of upload anything to Substance Share, okay? But Substance Source is run by Algorithmic, so they have quality control over that stuff. Substance Share is more of a community thing. Now that you're going to find a lot more free stuff on Substance Share, but you know what we have here on Substance Source is going to be a lot better quality, most likely. Okay. Um, I'm seeing that there's a lot of stylized stuff for free up here right now. Uh, if you find content that's better for you, then do so. For this portfolio specifically, I'm going to say you don't want to do. We're not doing any stylized stuff this month, so the stylized stuff may be something you want to download now and have on your assets, uh, but not really useful for us at this point, you know, for this portfolio specifically, okay? I don't know if these free things are going to go down or come back up again. I'm not sure, but that's some stuff that you may want to take a look at, okay? But we're going to load up Substance Share right now because this is what I was able to find in the brief amount of time that I was able to look. I came over to Substance Share, and I came over here and simply just typed in, I believe I started off with shingle, but that did not offer me a lot of options here. Because this is very stylized wood shingles. We don't want you using anything really stylized like this, okay? So what I did end up searching after a while here was I just typed in roof. And then it gave me a few more options here, and I believe that yeah, after reviewing a lot of these, I came to the conclusion that this old roof tile, actually, take a look at this one real quick. Because this is rock. This is not wood. This is like rocks for like a monastery or some kind of castle maybe. So that's like shale kind of rocks for a snowy road. I don't know, whatever. I mean, just them saying the word slabs makes me believe that it's probably rock. Uh, but yeah, after going through a lot of these, I was saying that this one probably fits the bill the best for Ivy's model here with the, with the exterior well. We can definitely get some good mold in there with the cracks and stuff, and that's going to be a better detail, I think. So that is what I downloaded, was this guy right here. It seems like they have some generator effects in here that you can maintain and play around with. So that's what I would recommend you do, is kind of play around with things. You may have to, if you want to adjust any of this stuff in here, if you want to like add more mold or less mold, and adjust the color of these things, I believe you have to do that in Substance Designer. So you may want to throw that in the Substance Designer to play around with that. I haven't done that specifically, and that's another great reason why I like Substance Source, is because you can actually come into Substance Source, like you can load up the model, and you can come over here to the parameters and actually adjust the parameters for getting this stuff set up for you. So if you wanted this thing to have different presets, you could download it with those presets already made for you to put right into Substance Painter. Okay? So there's some cool stuff there. But once again, I'm not gonna sit here and try to advertise Substance Source when it's only giving me a few free materials here and there. Cool? Alright, so with that in mind, I downloaded that tiles. Now what you want to do, once again, I'm gonna do this demonstration for you. I loaded it up here real quick for you guys to see it, but I'm gonna reload it so you know what you're doing here. This is the tiling material, what's it called? Sample. Okay, so that's what you actually want to do here starting off. If you want to make something tiling or trimming, what you're going to want to do is come over here to the file, open sample, and you should have this by default. You should have like these 4 materials to work with, and tiling material is what you want to start off with, because what this is actually is let me delete a lot of these guys here because we don't really need that stuff. But if I load up a black mask and go over the geometry here, you'll see what's happening. This is a tiling material. What this is actually only the little middle square right here is actually only this part right here is actually UV'd. The rest of this outside of here is just a tiling of that effect. And tiling, once again, it's just what's going to happen is whatever is happening in that 0 to 1 space is going to tile and repeat itself over and over again outside that 0 to 1 space. So we're going to set ourselves up for that in that manner, okay? Hold on a minute here. I got to take a pause. All right, so what I was saying here was that we have a very obvious tile here that's happening. If we come in here, when you download this stuff, you'll see it in here. Okay, you will need to go in and put it into your but usually your algorithmic folder is going to be in your documents. So go ahead and go into Substance Painter and make sure that SBS is placed into your materials or smart materials, whatever whatever it is that you're downloading, okay? So make sure that you have it in there. My old roof tiles are right here. Okay, so that's where you're going to want to put that stuff, and it should load up automatically for you, okay? But here we are. I'm just going to drag this guy up here and put it in. Let's give it a minute. By default, too, this material is by default set up to have the height displace. So you're going to want to turn that off. Just come over to the shader and just click disable for the displacement and tessellation. Okay, so now height is pretty much just going to be normals for you guys. You're not going to get the displacement and tessellation there. You don't want that. But once again, you know, right now, we only have textures in this little area, and it's simply just repeating itself over and over again out here. So if I actually come in here, let me make a paint for this. I want to be able to adjust this.
If I select a small area, you come over here to polygon.
A little bit more. Was I quiet first there? Sorry, it just looked like my stuff changed. I spiked for a second. Okay, my stuff's flipping out here. Hold on. I'm back to normal. But it was just for a second, though. It wasn't the whole timeout. Okay, I appreciate that. Thank you, Colin. All right, we should be back to normal again. Sorry about that. I got these crappy USBs that we got to use. Really a mess. Anyways, now that I got that black mask on in there, we can paint white now into this. And you see what it's doing here, right? Let me set up just a small portion of this. Let's go half of this model with shingles. Maybe I'll do a little bit more later. We'll see what happens. Actually, I need to reserve. You see what's happening in here, though, right? I have this little area right here is UV'd, but it's tiling infinitely out here, okay? And when I load this stuff in by default, you're automatically going to get a seamless tile because this is probably, most likely, what you grab is a tiling map, okay? So your stuff is going to tile infinitely in one direction. So here's how this works, though. If we have our stuff set up like this, so that we can tile infinitely in a direction, in one direction, if our UVs do this, then we're basically going to get a tiling map, just in one direction. Most of our content here is pretty linear. So, I mean, a lot of lines here telling us where that stuff is. So we really don't need a lot of crazy stuff in here to go, okay? Looking at this model here, okay, we have a few things. I do want everybody to do some kind of baking on their models this month. Okay, so I'm going to request that you find something to actually atlas. Atlas means baking, basically, or a one-off. You know, your UVs are designated for one specific thing. They're not going to tile, okay? So I do want some part of this model to have some kind of atlas to it, okay? But the rest of it should be tiling. So the way that I recommend approaching this is to have something like this set up. The linear details I see here are wood grain, shingles that we can use for the side and the back, and the roof. It looks like there's a little bit of shingles in here too, maybe. Okay, we can reuse this stuff. All right. But this is how we're going to operate here, is kind of doing this stuff here. Oh, jeez. Sorry. So I'm going to set this tile up here to do a little bit of the shingle work. I think that's a good amount of shingles there. We really... I wonder. I need to offset this actually, because I want this to be... Right now, this shingle is kind of cut off right there, and I'd rather have more full shingles on this thing. So let me see if we can do this the right way here. I'm going to come over to my tile, and I'm just going to offset this, not in that direction, the other direction, the Y direction, okay? So I'm just going to shift this a little bit. That way, you know, I want to see that we're getting like a full line as close as we can, getting a line here, okay? And you don't, if you are going to adjust this to have more scale, you have to do it proportionately, or sorry, I should say exponentially, okay? And look at here too, like this bottom row with the tiles has our line right there, right there in the middle of that. So that's a great place to have a good seam. Just in case you have to cut things short, you can use this bottom area right here in the UVs to say, hey, I want this to be my end tile, right? If you have any obvious seams, that's a good place to put it. Okay. But like I said, like you know, let's say I want to have, let me turn off the map here. Am I able to disable this quickly and just come back to it? Toggle mask, there we go. Okay. So let's say I want less of these tiles. I want them to be bigger. I want it to scale less, okay? Actually, I don't know if you can do that really. Because immediately if I press like 0.5 in here, you're gonna get a seam. It's not gonna be a seamless tile. Okay, so that is a problem if you did want to go smaller with your stuff. Bigger though shouldn't be a problem. If I come over here, I believe I have to hit 4. Let me try 2 out real quick. Let me see where my I want to see where my seam is here. It's really hard to see this. Like the color is just blending in so perfectly here. Ah. Okay, you know what? I need to just turn off base color. How about that? Like my colorblind eyes are just flipping out right now. Okay, so my seam is over here somewhere. So I'm not seeing any seam there. Okay. If I did like 1.5 or something partial there, we're going to get a seam. Okay. But it seems like 2 isn't giving me a seam. 3, I don't see any seam in there with 3. 4, yeah, no seam in there. But if I think if I just put a decimal in there though, you're gonna get a seam. So how many times it tiles this, you just have to make sure that you're using a full number. All right? I think just what they give me by default here is gonna be pretty good though, so that's a good strategy to keep with. Oh my goodness. Seriously doing this to me. Okay. Yeah, I know. Dramatic music is very vague. A very vague description there. All right, so let me enable my mask here again. That way I'm only getting my tiles down here. Okay, I can actually, since I'm probably not going to be using these little lips right here, we can dedicate that for less UV space, right? So I can probably, yeah, we might be able to just ditch a little bit of that or add it. I think, I think the tiles will be good. We kind of just stick it like this. Let me paint just a little bit less off of this thing. I think if we just eliminate this rotor right here, we'll still be good. Just do a little bit of this thing here. Need to be in paint. Just too much. There we go. All right, that'll work. That's still like close to half right there. So that's still a good spot to be at. But yeah, we want the ends of these tiles to be very clean. We don't want it doesn't really matter what the tucking parts are because you're really not going to see a lot of this stuff up here. Okay. We are going to model these tiles in to an extent. Okay. So rest assured that this isn't going to look, really garbagey. Okay. And we're keeping this very simple. If you want to do just some minor touch-ups, you can. Okay. If you want to come in here, and change up some, here we go. We got some parameters that you want to go through, like some base color, grab some of that base color over there. Get some lighter tiles, you have some controls over this. Am I getting normals? I am getting normals. Wait, that's normals in height. But yeah, there are normals here still. Okay, so I am getting normals. I am getting a little bit of that. You do have some control. Yeah. Okay, so there is some moss too over here, right? You have some intensity that you can adjust. You can change the color of the moss if you want it to be just a little bit darker, right? Good stuff in there still, okay? So not everything that we have here is so crazy. Oh. We can change the numbers of the tiles. I wonder. Is that going to break my tile, though, is what I'm asking here. I don't know if X is going to break the tiles or break the tiling or not. Sorry, little curiosity here. Hold tight. Looking for my UV seam. Okay, so it doesn't... That didn't look like it broke a lot, really. Let me undo that. Let's try Y. Y? Yeah, it shouldn't even matter about Y either. Let me just try one more number and see. No. Seems pretty good. Okay, so you can adjust a little bit of the size here, That's you got some good controls in here. We got some good controls because, looking at some of these tiles that we have here, we can do randoms maybe? Offset random? Even that didn't break. That did not break the tile. So we're still getting some good tiling information in here, even though we're getting some offset randoms in here. I wanted to make sure that those seams are still pretty good though, so. Position random maybe? Position random X. Let's see. These guys are giving me here. Okay, cool. Yeah, we're getting some gaps in there now. A little bit crazier, right? That's good stuff. It's still good stuff. It already has... Yeah, if you actually mess up with the tile, then you're going to get a lot of seams in here. The emphasis and the reason why we're doing trim maps is to let this just keep going, okay? We don't want to squeeze all of our UVs in this tiny little spot. We want to make strips of UVs, right? Yeah, you don't want a lot of that. I think what's happening here right now is pretty good to go. I really just wanted to play around with some of that stuff. I think position Y is probably going to give me a lot more jaggedness up and down, probably. You know, they're using tile generators here, so it's not a lot of crazy stuff going on. The more I make the edges more jagged this way, though, the more I'm going to have to try to UV that stuff in there. So I don't really want like a whole lot of that. I might even just bring that down just a little bit. Actually, I think what we had was good. What we started off with was pretty good. I'm getting some small little divisions in here where we're getting some things kind of changing up. And if I decide to model any of that kind of information in there, then that'll be a good detail to put in. So I kind of like that, the way that it is for that. Let's move on to the rest of my trim map here. I want to make sure that we get to actually modeling here, right? That way I can show you like why we're doing these things. Okay, so cherry is not a great wood. Rough wood. This seems like it's tiling quite a bit. I don't know. We can change the color of this stuff. I mean, you don't want to just use the defaults, basically, right? Like, smart materials aren't really going to do you a lot of good here, because smart materials rely on baked maps, right? You have generators and stuff like that that are using baked maps, and that's what a smart material is. So if I put some of this smart material stuff in here, it's not going to have any it's not going to be able to put edgeware on anything or make things look cool, because it has none of that information there. I guess this is a good setup, though. We're not going to have a lot of controls here. Let me slap this guy under that. And I'm actually getting the wood tile over that stuff, and I don't want that. It still looks pretty good, though, so we're going to work with that. Let me, what I do have to do here, though, is I have to... Jeez, so many layers in this. This is more than just roughness. So we have to come in here and adjust the rotation back to 0. Okay, and you're going to have to do that for all of these guys. Is just make sure that you're rocking 0 on the rotation. White stains? That's probably what... Okay, no, I gotta see what this stuff does individually, because some of these guys... I don't know what this one is, but let's just try going 90 with that. Let's just try going 90 with all of these, really. The first one was already at 90, and now, like, I have to put in 90 for the rest of these to change it up. That's okay. This should work. Roughness stains. Okay, we finally have a pattern up there, it looks like. I don't even know how much of this stuff is even working, because this is a fill node. I need to be rotating this stuff around. That's what is messed up with me right now. There we go. Okay, so I'm getting some kind of tile here with the wood, which is not great. It looks like we're tiling quite a bit here too. Dust. What am I getting here with dust? Grunge map. Yeah, let's take that out. I wish these I wish these folders had like a, something we could do here that that I could adjust just off of the folder. This guy probably needs to be rotated around. White stains, moisture noise. Something's going on here. Okay, something fixed itself. I have a little bit of a seam there still. Little bitty bit. You know what? I could just turn off the stuff that has no generators, really. Yeah, that one's not doing too much. Dust, maybe? You gotta find the stuff that's actually got, fills in it. Wood pattern. So this guy, what? It's that small. Good gravy. Okay, yeah, so this guy is going like the opposite direction. I don't want that. Let's change that up. Yeah, I like that better. I don't like the reverse wood pattern. It seems really weird. So I'm getting a little bit of normals in there. This is all stuff that you guys can play around with it before you get started. But once again, if you want to turn all the roughness and all the dirt off if you want to, you can do that. If you just want to put some kind of weak little wood grain in there, that may be what you have to do. Okay, my white stains need a little bit of love there with that. Jeez. Okay, I think I just want to get rid of. No. Why is this guy so not tiling? It's triplanar. Just do UV. There we go. Whoever put triplanar on there was really not doing their job. UV is all you need. Okay. I don't see any real big like tiles now that are getting in the way. I want to make sure that we're not getting any interference on the other material though, so I need to make a black mask over here. And I want to segregate my model, my model's tile here to only be in a small portion. I need to get rope in here too. So I think I'm gonna leave just this middle area, this top area right here for rope. We'll see what we get out of this though, right? And once again, you guys are always free. We can always come back in here. In fact, I'm going to leave a lot of this vague, so we can always come back in here and change colors. You can change things around here and there, little bits, but at least you know that you have like a tiling material to start off with, okay? And at least you know how this stuff is lining up, how you're going to build your model is what we're going for here. Now I need rope. And rope is probably going to be a really hard one. Because I need like fibers, right? Let's see. I think I might have to man, we don't have anything. Maybe procedurals has got something that I can use for rope. got mesh and weaving. Stripes, mesh fibers. Okay. Yeah. Oh, wait, here we go. That's something. That's something we can use, right? So let's try this out. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a new fill. We're going to make a black mask. I'm gonna make a fill inside of that mask, and I'm going to simply just put this in the grayscale. And now I've got that fiber there, so all I have to do is just clamp this down here, like this. Let's take a look. My detail's gonna be doing this kind of thing. Actually, let's tile this a little bit more, right? We want this to tile a lot more. So that's what I need to do. Instead of me kind of going crazy with warping this thing in a smaller area, let's make sure that that we're tiling this effectively here. I want this to occupy like a whole space. So if I look at my map here, I want it to kind of fill up these two red dots. That's kind of what I'm pushing for here with that. So I push it all the way to the edge here. Okay, and now I feel like we want to be just a little bit longer. Let's get a little bit more of this twisting action here, right? Okay, good. I don't know, I think I just want to push it a little bit more. I want to see what this looks like. And pull it down just a little bit more. Because I don't really want like a big seam in there. If I do too much of this black seam, that's going to be pretty visible actually. Yeah, I'm kind of getting cold feet on this now that I think about that line around it. So I think I need to change this up to just be just a linear pattern maybe. Maybe that's what I need, is just a linear kind of line pattern. Not weaving. I want just like straight lines. You know what? I'm just gonna tug this for right now. Once again, I'm overthinking this too much. I'm just gonna pull this out the best that I can and try to get like a good tile in here. Let's do half and half. I want you guys to see the seam there, and then we'll try to fix it later. Okay. All right. So that's doing that there. I'm gonna do a paint over this because I really, once again, I just want it to be. I only want it to be in those top two blocks, so that's what I'm doing there. Like that. It should be in there. If we change the color to this to like a red or something, you'll see it's still there. Let me do. I'm gonna do a layers in here, or levels, sorry, levels, and I'm gonna clamp this stuff down so I'm getting some sharper stuff in here. That's not really working. Okay, we'll try that. gonna make another layer back here just to be like my base color stuff. Like a black mask. Whenever you're painting things in, you want to start off with black and paint white in, and then go backwards for painting stuff out. Start off with white, paint stuff black. Let's go darker so I can see what's happening. Let me actually just do like a color grab here. Just gonna grab like some tan. Do the same thing for this guy too, probably. Grab some tan. Let's darken this one up so I can see what's happening. Just a bit darker in there. Let me raise the height up a little bit. Just put a little bit of height in there. I'm getting a seam in this too, which is bad. I probably should not have messed with the scale of this thing manually. I probably should have. You know, I don't really care about the scale up and down. It's the scale up left or right that I needed to adjust. And it looks like the numbers are in here, so that's good. This is what is this one? Yeah, that's the one that I need to adjust. Okay, so I need a full number in here to work with. So let me just go up to 5. That's the next number, right? And now I shouldn't have any seam in there. Okay, so only tweak that stuff very, very little for that. We don't need normal, we don't need metal, roughness. You know, all this stuff is coming out differently, okay? It's all coming out. Sink the roughness in here, maybe? There's a lot of stuff in here where I'm... Once again, I'm tweaking this just too much. I can't help myself sometimes. That's what I do. I want a little bit more color in this. There we go. Just a little more color. I just don't know why it's so... Why it's not that dark. Let me go to base color and just see what that looks like, because I think, yeah, part of the job description, exactly. I want some high contrast in here, so I'm just going to stick it to base color, because I want to see that, so I know what the tile looks like. I'm going to crank this up drastically so I can see the difference in there. That might be enough for me to get a good grasp on this. But there we go. I mean, this is going to be my trim map now, okay? You see how it tiles? We're getting no seams. I think I'm seeing something right here maybe, but I'm just going to call it right there. Let me export this out and let's get into Substance. Let's get into Maya. Let's get into Maya. This has changed a little bit. I just want base color. I'm just gonna yank some of this stuff out. Whatever, I guess that's good. So let me use new export presets. Okay, new export presets, PNG. Am I in 20? I should be in 2048 at least. We'll see what happens. I'm just gonna put this on the desktop too. Just get straight to it. Okay. Export. Okay, I like the new console thing over here, getting us some new stuff. Exported the file. I should be good to go. So let's load up. We got Maya here. Okay, let me create a plane. We're going to do some modeling now. Holy cow, we finally got to it. It's important to get this stuff set up because we want to see this stuff, right? So I have a new plane here. Let's make a new material. Blend. Let's try blend out. Come over here to file and plug in. I saved it on the desktop, so it should be easy for me to find. Plug this guy in there. Okay, we're plugged in. If I load up my textures here, now you can see that tile in here, okay? So let's get to modeling. This is going to be like my little template model here. We're going to have height and we're going to have normals plugged into these to actually get some depth. I suppose that's something I probably should have exported to. Maybe that's something you want to get into. I guess since I already have Substance Painter loaded up, I should do that as well. Might as well. Because you know, that's a pretty important thing too, if you think about it, right? Let me just make an RGB, and I want direct. Actually, I want OpenGL for Maya because Maya is OpenGL, unfortunately. Whatever. And if you grab this channel right here, it's going to be the converted map of. It's going to be your height and your normals at the same time. So all your height information should also kind of be normal mapped here. Kind of see this stuff. Let me load it up. There we go. Rope's just barely there. Oh well. All right, let's get that material up again here too. Let's go into the attribute editor. Come over here to bump mapping. Plug a file in. We want it to be tangent space normals. That's the one right there. And now I got some slight normals in here, right? So that's good. That's doing the right thing there. I probably want this to be just a little bit less shiny. So let me go back into the attribute editor and let's tweak this material out a little bit. I don't want it to be so shiny, specular color. Just lower that down. There we go. Cool. That works for me. That's nice and grungy. That's good for me to model with. Okay, outliner, don't need you.